All right, now let's analyze the pivotal role of the insurance sector in Nigeria's economic landscape. I'll begin with an overview of the association and its mission before diving into how the insurance industry aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. To help us unpack this, I have Mr. Kunle Ahmed. He's the 26th chairman, Nigerian Insurers Association. Join me right here in the studio. It's great to have you.
Great to be here, Ladi.
Yeah, so talk to me about this association, and congratulations.
Thank you.
On this new role.
Thank you. So Nigerian Insurance Association is the umbrella body of all insurance companies in Nigeria, insurance company and reinsurance company in Nigeria. It's been about 53 years old association, and we pay attention to all issues that concerns insurance business in Nigeria and the arrangement of insurance and the relationship with government and management, ensuring that insurance companies follow the principles of insurance and serve our customers and potential customers fairly.
And, looking at the macros at this time, we're dealing with a cost of living crisis. We'll see inflation, at levels we've not seen in a long time. We're seeing currency devaluation. All of these three, hammering on businesses and individuals. So talk to me about how the insurance sector can actually help in navigating, these headwinds to achieve this $1 trillion economy for Nigeria.
Let me start by saying that in thriving or trying times, the solution that you need is insurance. And I think it's in the realization of the importance of insurance and what insurance can do in terms of helping the government to achieve its agenda that we've seen a lot of attention being paid by this government to the practice of insurance in Nigeria. I've been in the State House at least twice in the last 1 month to discuss issues concerning insurance. But directly to your question, insurance gives wings, provide wings to businesses to fly. And we pay critical attention to the sectors of the economy to give them support. I'll give an example. Agriculture is very important to our economy, and we can provide solutions, insurance solutions for flood, for drought, for the agri sector to allow farmers to be able to produce and thereby support the growth of the economy and the ambition of the government. We provide critical support for critical side of the economy like energy, like transportation. With insurance, you are focused just on investment, just on creating new areas, new frontiers, breaking barriers. You have more confidence to continue to invest, to innovate, and expand, believing that you have a cover for you in the event of unfortunate or unforeseen circumstances.
And talking about that cover, some would say it's going to cost me money to get this cover, at this point. Why don't I, take that money and channel it into my business at this time, because I'm not getting that much demand and business is not going as well. What do you say to that kind of...
The issue is that what you pay as insurance premium is a tiny proportion of the value that insurance company will take care of if the unforeseen circumstances arises. For example, if you insure your building, you pay something like 0.2% of the value of the building, assuming your building is cost 100 million. What you pay is a tiny amount. And if anything happens to the building, the insurance company will pay the full amount of that building to you. Of course, there are other exceptions.
And, talking about, flooding, you did mention flooding.
Yes.
Earlier, I've seen some homes where people have been, sacked from their homes because of the floods, even, around us here. What kind of a plan can such a person have to, to save their property and also, help them maybe find some other accommodation?
The simple policy that they need is a fire insurance policy, fire and special perils insurance policy. That policy will cover them for fire and other perils, like drought, like flooding, like impact on their building, like several other cover that comes around fire and special perils. And like I said, the premium for that particular risk is very tiny compared to the risk that insurance company will carry eventually.
Right, and you also mentioned, trying times, and I want to believe that trying times also come with a lot of claims. Is the insurance industry able to absorb most of the claims that we're seeing at this time?
we are able to absorb all claims. And thanks to that particular question, because a lot of our viewers and the investing public doesn't understand the practice of insurance. Insurance capacity is not limited to the shareholders fund or the fund or the capital of the insurance company. Insurance companies' capacity also include the reinsurance capacity that they bought. So you can have a very a medium-sized insurance company being able to take very large risk. Now, talking directly about claims. Last year, the industry recorded premium income of about 1 trillion naira. We paid claims of about 546 billion naira, about 54% of the premium that we wrote last year. That shows that it's no longer about whether insurance company pay claims. No, that is no longer the question. Insurance company pay claims. What we are paying a lot more attention to is the customer journey from onboarding to claims to ensure that claims payment is seamless and our insurance public are paid, within a very short period of time.
Because you hear some customers say that before I can get that claim, I have to bring the beard of a grasshopper, at this time to actually make that. So it's gotten easier.
It is a lot easier today. It's a lot easier today. And the challenge for us is to make it even easier than it is today. For example, if your car is stolen, in the past it used to take about 90 days before your claim is paid. Today it is 60 days for most companies. I know a couple of our members that are now targeting 30 days. So that will give time for whether the car will be found or, to ensure that documentations are completed and all that. So things are improving gradually, and with technology and digital disruptions, we believe that the sky is the beginning.
Right. And what would you say are the challenges facing your industry, right now? You're looking at currency devaluation and all of that.
There are several challenges that we face, and I'll put it in 2 buckets. The couple of historical challenges that we are taking care of already, inability to attract, talent outside, our industry, less footprints in terms of accessibility and distribution channels. But there are a couple that I think I still need to talk a bit more about. Number one is the fact that insurance business in Nigeria is still being governed through outdated laws. That these outdated laws inhibit our ability to be creative, our ability to focus on things that will move the industry forward. I'm happy that the National Assembly is currently taking care of that with the Nigerian Insurance Reform Bill at the National Assembly. Hopefully, that will be taken care of. And
you think it's going to scale?
I believe very strongly that it's going to scale. It's past the second reading. We've had the public hearing. So I believe very strongly that we'll see that will see the light of the day. Another problem that we face is the fact that there's low insurance awareness, and this cut across all strata of the society. You might think some educated people will understand how insurance business works, but that has been a major challenge that we face. One particular issue that usually causes a lot of challenges with our insurance public is a global term called excess. Excess is that portion of the claim that the insured bears when there is a claim. And most companies usually bring this to fore when we sell insurance products to the customers. But yet, it's a big issue when there's a claim, and people believe that you have not indemnified me to the extent of my loss. The third one is the perception of fraud. And by both the insurance company and the insured. You might not believe that. The insurance companies, the insurers believe that insurance companies are just there to, not to pay claims. That perception is still there somewhat. But insurance companies also believe that insuring public, when there is a loss, always want to make more than the loss that they've suffered. That challenge is there, and I think the industry is trying to manage both sides of the divide. So that the major challenges that I see.
How do you think?
But the most important one, is the economic challenge.
Yes, right.
The fact that there are challenges with the economy, increase in prices of energy and petrol. The purchasing power of people is now a bit limited.
Because I believe inflation will be a major headache for insurance, because
it is.
You might price the claim at repairing something at this price, But the next thing, the prices go up again. So how do you create some kind of buffer against that?
I think, gladly, we should give you an insurance certification for this particular question. I think it's a major problem because this year we've seen average claim cost increase fourfold. Average claim cost. So, for example, maybe 2 years ago, what you spend $3,000 to fix will now cost us about $12,000 to fix. And premium has not increased, in that manner. The challenge for us is to continue to grow the business because the bigger the top line, the better you can absorb cost, and the better you can innovate in terms of how you pay claims, and the bottlenecks around claims payment.
Right, and in the financial services sector, you've seen the banking side, they having to recapitalize. Yes. How's the insurance doing? Are the companies okay when it comes to capitalization?
I believe that the insurance companies will also recapitalize. There is a provision in the reform bill at the National Assembly that stipulates that insurance companies must recapitalize. I don't know the final figure that the government will agree on, but the capital today is 2 and 3 billion. 2 billion for life companies, 3 billion for non-life company. That is very small. I believe that by the time that law is passed, the capital for insurance companies will increase significantly.
Right, and we have a couple of insurance companies listed on the local bourse. What are you seeing? It's Q3. Everyone's looking out for results. Are you seeing strong results coming out from most of the insurance companies?
I'll base my analysis on what we saw in H1 at the end of Q2. Because you're not allowed to reveal your results except on the floor of the estate.
Of course, yeah.
I think with what we've seen at the end of Q2, the insurance bourse is going to be very active. There are very nice results being put out to the public.
Right.
And I believe that we'll see, that trend will continue. Hoping that
regardless of the headwinds.
Hoping that we won't see very large claim happening between now and the end of the year.
Right. All right. So let's look towards the future. At this time, what are you seeing in the next 5 to 10 years for this industry?
With 1% of Nigerians holding an insurance policy, with 1%, less than 1% penetration rate in Nigeria, and with the population that we have, I believe that the future for insurance is very bright. Our GDP the contribution of insurance to GDP has improved. It was 3% in the last 5 years. As at Q2 2024, it was 0.52. That shows some improvement. I believe very strongly with the passage of the law on insurance that we talked about, the implementation of the 10-year industry strategic plan that is being put together by the whole industry with the National Insurance Commission. I think that will open a lot of opportunities, and I believe very strongly that insurance contribution to the GDP will increase to about 1.9% by 2030.
Right, and one thing I forgot to ask you about, this is a high interest rate environment. How is that impacting business?
It's impacting business a lot. We're seeing a decrease in what I call credit life or credit policies. There's been a remarkable decrease in the number of policies that we see, and that's because banks are not advancing loans like they used to before. That might, of course, that's as a result of the high interest rate. But there are other things we need to do. There are people that have assets already that we need to show clearly, or we need to show value to in terms of what insurance can do. And that's some of the things we'll be paying attention to from the Nigerian Insurance Association. Right,
and we'll definitely be hoping for the very best. But, with your leadership now, what can we expect with your leadership?
Progress. I'll be paying a lot of attention to digital disruption. I think my sector, being a very traditional sector, has been the slowest in embracing digital transformation. The plank of my tenure will be digital disruption. We'll be doing a lot of advocacy, ensuring that government agencies put insurance in their plan as they make plans and put plans in place. Insurance is a pillar of those plans. of those plans. Those are the two major things we'll be looking at in the course of my tenure.
And I'm sure artificial intelligence will come up at some point.
That will be under digital transformation.
Thank you so much. It was great having your perspective. That was Mr. Kunle Ahmed, is the 26th chairman, Nigerian Insurers Association. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Daddy. Nice to be here.
All righty then. So that's the show today. The markets are open. We'll give you a summary of what's playing out, and definitely we'll have a surprise on Business Incorporated. That's at 1 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Lade Williams. I hand things over to the Sunrise Daily team.